So this experience started out, I was at what looked like a Memorial Day parade, or like one of these kind of like a festivities kind of thing, something like that. It was on a pier, type of a pier looking thing, maybe somewhere in, like, you see, almost it reminded me of San Diego, the San Diego area. And I say this because I was next to, again, I was next to the water on what looked like a pier, and there was one of those big aircraft carrier ships, big old aircraft carrier ship in the water. And then there was all this confetti coming down from the air that was red, white, and blue. And everyone was holding the American flag, and they're all cheering and they're looking really happy. I'm not exactly sure what was going on, but there was some kind of like a festive event for this. And I remember I was looking around at everybody, and what really caught my attention and what I really needed to see was I looked up at the aircraft carrier. And when I looked up at the aircraft carrier, I could see what looked like a metal eyeball. There's pictures on the internet of airplanes with something very similar on the nose of them, and it's usually a laser or direct energy weapon system. And it was the same thing that was on the ship. It had one of these kind of metal looking eyeball or metal looking ball with a glass kind of cover on the front, or glass lens on the front. And that's where the laser comes out of. And when I was looking at it, I knew that it, of course, I could see what it was, the direct energy weapon, but it had a different kind of purpose. It was still a laser producing machine, but the laser itself could actually open portals. And I was looking at the ship, and then all of a sudden, during this festivities and this parade, the reason for this parade was not to celebrate, and it was not to, whatever as it was advertised. It was actually to gather a crowd of people to unleash this kind of horror on. And what had taken place was, as everybody's celebrating and all that, I'm looking at the ship, and that metal device or whatever, it kind of powers on. It starts to kind of glow red in the front, and it kind of spins around really, and it's really quiet. You can't even hear it. If you weren't paying attention, you weren't going to see it. And it spins around, and it points off into the sky, and it starts to shoot this beam out of the lens. But the beam that comes out is not red. It's actually like a blue kind of purple. And the longer that it shoots into the air, it starts to turn very black. It starts to turn very black, and it's very thick in kind of diameter, this laser. But as it's pointing at the sky, and it's pointing at the sky, and it's shooting this laser off into the sky, it actually opens this portal. And this portal starts to swirl in the sky, and all these entities, they kind of look like if you guys ever seen the movie, I believe it's called Gremlins. The little gremlin creatures, not when they're kind of fuzzy, cute looking, but they when they get splashed with water and they turn really kind of gross and kind of rancid looking.
Yeah, the old Spielberg movie. That's about probably 30 years old or so. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that movie. And those are what was popping out of the portal, and it started attacking the people, and it was kind of horrific. It's they're ripping at them, and they're doing all this kind of crazy stuff. And so this is kind of a new weapon system that they're developing, what I could see. But what was a very interesting turn of events. So after they opened the portal and these entities got released on the public and whatnot, it was kind of like a state of chaos throughout the city. And what was very interesting is even though it was an American parade, after they had opened the portal, it seemed it had not just opened a portal in one place, unless it was a simultaneous event of opening multiple portals at the same time. Because I ended up in the UK, and I knew it was the UK by the way that the houses are formatted, the kind of layout. They have a different kind of structure, the way that they build their neighborhoods. And I was sitting, or excuse me, I wasn't sitting. What I could see was visually looked like the sister, but I could see that it was a real guide. They were sitting on the bricks, on the kind of brick liner between the houses. And as they're sitting on the brick, they have one of those creatures, one of those little astral entities or whatever kind of entities they were, sitting next to them. And they have one of the new books. They're trying to show it one of the new books. And I remember I sat down too, and I started to explain some of the real references, and that they don't have to be destructive, that they could come to the earth if that's what they're going to do, but they don't have to destroy things and kind of terrorize people. And so that was the experience that I had. It's very, very interesting. Thank you.
That's terrific, Jeremy. That's a book in itself. So Yeah, write that up and create a group, whatever. Let people know that you know, these are your real side experiences and you're sharing them, and etc. And you can add the rest each time with the Revisar and the Real Guides. And so, yeah, very, very interesting. Heads up, let's see who else sees this, you see? Um, Also, like I've done here on Skype with the intuitive sessions, survival sessions, you can start something like that too. You know, you can call it your dream visions or something, or whatever you want to do it, or intuitive senses, whatever, and start something like that too. You have time on Skype, have people contact you. There, several people have contacted me and talking to them, and you can with your posts and stuff like that, they can be very interested to talk to you.